so it's around 3 hours drive. If you are fast, 2 hours on the high speed. It's in the middle before Singapore, I think around 40 minutes to Johor Bahru, Singapore. So if you're welcome, if you want to come and study here. I'm under the Faculty of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, and I think today a few of my students, PhD, are also presenting. So what is LTE? Maybe not all of you are in this area. We are all talking about mobile phones. Everybody is using mobile phones, advanced mobile communication phones. Okay, and LTE is one of the system that is controlling the mobile communication. At the moment, we are on 4G, but we are moving towards the 5th generation. The one I gave a talk on in Dubai last year on the 5th generation. We are working on it. I'm one of the vice chairman for the sub-working committee group in Malaysia for MCMC. MCMC is a Malaysian commission working on all this mobile communication. So LTE, why we use this? Okay, some phone already have LTE. If you have the previous generation, then you could not accept an LTE system. Okay, so because one of the system is a high throughput, low latency, and then high service data. Okay, everybody want data fast. Okay, so that's why we need to move into this LTE advanced. Okay? And what my student did was to actually improve the spectrum usage efficiency. Okay. Of course, he has not been adopted by LTE yet. What he did was on the frequency in European. Okay, and we try to achieve a high data rate in terms of their transmission. And what we want to do is actually this technique here, we call it carrier aggregation. You have a link for it? No. Okay, technique is what we call carrier aggregation, how we separate the spectrum into each of the channel. Okay. So in the end, what he managed to do was to get a better performance of LTE, and then he managed to get a larger bandwidth, which was increased. What LTE fourth generation did was to get 1 gigabits per second, and what he did was managed to increase the peak data rate to 4 gigabits per second. Okay, and of course he compared the efficiency between the previous LTE and LTE advanced. Okay, I think Malaysia have not gone to using LTE advanced. LTE advanced is on the release 11, 12 of the system. Okay, so I think we are actually using only release 8 or 9. Okay, we're a bit slow. Okay, compared to other countries like Japan, Korea, they are much faster. Okay. And of course, he also tried to use this remote technology to implement on how many antennas which can transmit LTE. But unfortunately, he did not build the system. Okay, it's more on the modulation system of this project. Okay. And in the end, what he managed to do, increase component carrier from 5 to 6. Okay, the maximum of the current system is only 5. And then the current system bandwidth is only 100 megahertz, and then he managed to do it until 120 megahertz. Peak data rate until 1 gigahertz to 4 gigahertz, and then the boost of the efficiency of the system. So this is the bandwidth of LTE and LTE advanced. Okay, so you can see each of the bandwidth is 20 megahertz, 20 megahertz. Okay, so in the end, they get 100 megahertz of 5 aggregation. Okay. So in the end, what he managed to do is to get from 100 megahertz, he managed to get 120, and then he managed to stack instead of 5 into 6 carrier aggregation into the system. Okay. So this carrier aggregation principle, okay, you have a few types. Okay, you have this context of carrier aggregation. We have the component carrier CC. Okay, that is what we have. Okay, 20 megahertz. You segregate each of the channel into 1 by 1 until 100 megahertz system. Okay, and then under this calibration, we propose 2 types. Okay, one is the CC to support the LTE, and then one is to support the system. Okay, so when you have 5, you can send in more data, and then many other systems can relate together to the system. Of course, there's a few types of carrier aggregation. Okay. One, we call it the intra-band carrier aggregation, that is the CC. And then one is the intra aggregation, one with continuous, which is together, side by side, and then one non-contiguous, which means that you separate between two here and then two here. But in the end, the system is still the same, 100 megahertz. And then the one with contiguous, you managed to make 5, and then the non-contiguous, you only managed to send 4, okay, of the spectrum system. And then one is the intra-band, so you have altogether 3 types. Okay, inter, you have contiguous and then non-contiguous, and then one in the intra-band, non-contiguous, which is separated into 2-band system. Okay. Of course, MIMO, I think everybody understand the basic system of MIMO. This is where you have one system sending into 2 or 3 antenna together, or you have one hand side and then linking into one of the base station together. Okay, so you have 2 handsets. Then how do we use the same system and then get 2 handphones? Now we have so many. Okay, some of my students even each person have 2 sets of handphones. One they say for personal, and then one for non-personal. Okay, so you can see how many phones they have to need to be contacted to that base station. Okay. So this is the MIMO presentation, okay, where different data streams fit into the pre-coding operation, and of course this is using the OFDM system, okay. I'm not going to go into detail of OFDM, so you have the layer, the multiplexer, and then the multiplexer, and then the layer mapping, encoding, and decoding. And what did my student did was to look at the downlink access of the LTE system, done using the OFDMA system. So as I said, the 5cc 100 megahertz, and then transmit into LTE, LTE, and LTE system. Okay. So what he did was he did an 8 times 8. Okay, I think before the system is only 4 times 4. Okay, by having 8 times 8 on the downlink. Okay, so it's something new compared to previously 4 times 4. And I think what he did was he added in a few of this CRC insertion on it, and then with the configuration map to configure between the input and the output of the system. Okay, this is on the receiver side. Okay, so he managed to put in 8 and then transmit, and then on the receiver side. Okay. Data aggregation. This figure shows the map of the component carrier for the physical layer. Okay, so but of course we did not build the physical layer. Okay, this is how it's if you have the physical layer and you have 8 antenna system, then you have to activate each one for each of the system. Okay, so each component carrier will send to one of the antenna and then one of the component system. And then this transportation block is using what we call the hybrid automatic repeat curate HRQ schedule for the transmission. Okay, so this is the method of controlling the protocol system between the transmission and the receiver system. So this is the whole system. Okay, transmitter and receiver together on the system. Okay, this is the proposal and the novelty of this code. And result from that, okay, he did 2 methods. One, he used a MATLAB, he wrote this program himself. And then one, we managed to get a temporary system because HP actually have developed we call it system view. Okay, HP have that system which you can use to actually work on LTE system. Unfortunately, the package is very expensive. Okay, because we as a Unity, we cannot afford to buy the system, and they managed to lend us to use that system for 3 months. So we managed to use MATLAB. He wrote the program, and then we compare with the system view. Okay. So this is the channel. Okay, you can see CC1 and CC2. So this is how we integrate the channel between the bandwidth. And then to prove the result, we managed to have that frequency spacing adjust between 300 kHz, and then the practical results are 17.1 megahertz. Okay, so this is what they managed to do. This is for LTE advanced downlink for intra-band continuation meant for bandwidth of 40 megahertz. That day I presented this to our MCMC, but unfortunately in Malaysia we use 41 megahertz. Okay, so the channel for Malaysia is not suitable for this. This is for the European one. Okay. So that is LTE advanced downlink, continuous 60 megahertz. So it increased the bandwidth, okay, from 40, 60, 80, and you can see how the channel has been segregated from 3 and then become 4. So by 100 megahertz, you managed to put in 5. Okay, that is now what we are having in the system for LTE. And then what he did was to do 120 by having 5 megahertz by keeping the same system, quality system, which is able to transmit that 120 megahertz. Okay. So LTE advanced. Okay. So in the end, number of components carrier 2. So we managed to adequate the frequency spacing 33.48 megahertz, which leads to around 1,1160 executed channel. Okay. So this is the final result of this system. Okay. For intraband, okay, that one was the interband. Okay, this is intraband non-contiguous. That was contiguous, and this is non-contiguous. You can see non-contiguous, as I told you, is a separate between one channel and next channel. So initially, for 60 megahertz, you get 3, 80, you get 4, so 100, 4. So and then this is the one that he managed to do 6. Okay, so this is one for non-contiguous and one for contiguous components. Okay. And of course, he also put all those systems into the memo that he presented just now, 2 times 2, and then 8 times 8. So this is just the throughput output result. Okay, he managed to. What we want is the output, final output, 33.6 megahertz. Okay, that is comparison with the LTE advanced website system. Okay, so you can see as we move in from 1 to 12, 1 to 6, 1 to 3, so you can see the megahertz start to increase. Okay. This is for 4 times 4, okay, and then 8 times 8. So of course, as you go in by a higher MIMO, higher antenna, you get a much higher output throughput frequency for the system. Okay. This is for 16 QAM. Okay, he did one for the for QAM. So this is for 16 QAM, and you can see the megabits per second are all also a difference. Okay. So this is for 16, 4 times 4, and then at the end for 8 times 8, you managed to get until 1.6 megabits per second through. Okay. For 16 QAM modulation, so these are all using the new novel 120 megahertz. Okay. So 64 QAM 2 times 2 MIMO. Okay. You can see it's 806 megabits per second. Okay. Until 8 times 8, you can get around 3.2 gigabits per second throughput. Okay. Which means that more data can be transmitted and much faster for the system. Okay. So after presenting the result for 2 times 2, 4 times 4, and 8.8 for various modulation systems, we can see that from all the output throughput, the best solution for this LTE is by using the 8 times 8 MIMO 64 QM modulation technique, because this system can exceed into 4 gigabits per second, which I said just now. Initially it was 1 gigabits per second, and then we want to get until 4 gigabits per second. And the throughput system has shown that 8 times 8 has managed to reach until 4 gigabits per second. This is for using a system view. This is just a compression test for using MATLAB. Okay, this is system view, and just to show that the results are almost the same with that system. Okay, for 60 megahertz, 80, 100, you can see almost the same. Of course, using system view, you can see the graph is a bit different from using a MATLAB output system. Okay, but you can just see that the plot of the graph is almost similar. Okay. So this is for 120. This is to show that a comparison between both of them. Second type of simulation, this is the continuous, that's for the downlink. So we have the 40 megahertz transmission. You can see for 40 megahertz, you have 2 separate, one for this channel and one for that channel, which is equal to 2 times 2 times 20 megahertz. Okay. 60 megahertz, you get 3, okay. 80, you get 4, okay. 5 and 6. So this is almost similar. Okay. So in the end, what we want to see, the number of CC, okay, increased from 1, this is the LTE system until 5, we have managed to get 6. Transmission bandwidth, we increased to 120 megahertz, and then the efficiency is same. Okay, so even though we increased until 120 megahertz with 6 number of carrier application, we still maintain the sensitivity to the 3.6 bits per second as what the LTE system wants or what. Okay? So that's the main contribution of it. Okay? So and this is the data throughput. You can see if we manage to get until the 620, we get more data being transmitted off to the system. Okay? This is the comparison. The previous system LTE before they moved to LTE Advanced. Okay. The previous system LTE is 1.4 to 20 megahertz, and then LTE Advanced 20 to 100. So that's what we propose, 20 to 120 megahertz. Okay. 300 megabits per second, LTE Advanced 1 giga. So we propose until 4 gigabits per second by still keeping the same proposed LTE bit spectrum efficiency to 3.6 bits per second. Okay. But as I say, unfortunately, the band that we use is for band 41, okay, compared to LTE, which is band 1, and LTE Advanced for band 40. Okay. Conclusion, okay, this research provides that we have reached 120 megahertz, okay, keeping the same efficiency, and then we managed to aggregate throughout the throughput of the data rates. These are the publications that we managed to publish. Very active student, I think he managed to publish around 19 papers. Every day keep sending me papers, please check, please check. And every day also keep asking me money, conference accepted, what to do. Okay, but of course, I did give him a scholarship, so he managed to balance out between sending conference and doing. Okay. This is the book that we have managed to publish under Lambert. Okay, this is the book. Quite expensive, 70 pounds. Okay, they did not even give us the free book. Okay. Author have to buy yourself, is it? Okay. Next time, don't send to different number. I have other publishers, they send us a copy, but this one, a bit stingy. They say, please buy, if you buy 5, they give you 1 free. So I did ask my library to buy, and they said, we buy 2 only. So I still cannot get free, because 5 only get 1 free. Okay. This one, published chapter. This one is very good. They sent me a copy of the book. Okay. I think this one is a book in chapter by this AccessNet folks. Okay. So these are all the papers by other authors, all under this LTE Advanced. Just on carrier aggregation feature. These are some of the medals he won. He managed to. This is the competition inside the university. He managed to win gold medal, and he got 400 ringgit Malaysia, which he did not share with me. So it's alright, you can have it. Okay. So this is his gold medal. These are some of the facility in our university. Okay. We have a good EMC lab, electromagnetic lab, and then we have this mean SRT if you want to fabricate wafer and other things. Okay, so we have this. We have a wireless communication. This is a system called Ionosphera. Okay. I'm not sure it's blinking because asking me time's up. Okay. So this is one of the Ionosphera where you can monitor the changes of molecules in the system. Okay. And below that is below the graph one is the GTM cell. The GTM cell is to check electromagnetic radiation from your mobile phone. Okay. If you bought a phone, you want to see how much radiation from it, you can put into this GTM cell. It will tell you how much radiation from your phone. Okay. So these are the equipments and all the facilities we have. Okay. So I welcome any from international if you have need some marvelous. I saw some have done circuit, and then if you cannot manage to test it, you can welcome to our agency, and then we can try and test out if you're confident of it. Okay, I think that's it. This is roughly my university.